Leadership for God and Country.
Good morning. Welcome to the midweek edition of Inside Nigeria, reaching you on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Gwebo, and we, on the first segment of this program, we are going to be reviewing some newspaper headline stories. And of course, as usual on the program, we have many papers on our menu talking about Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership, Daily Sun, The Guardian, Vanguard, THISDAY, and The Punch. We like to flag off with Leadership as usual on the program. My name is Winifred Gwebo. It's my pleasure hosting you on today's segment of the show. Leadership says as schools resume, parents, guardians groan over fee increase amid rising inflation. As schools resume, parents, guardians groan over fee increase amid rising inflation. Fees heightened over possible rise in dropouts out of school children. While we are increasing fees, school operators, private school teachers lament low wages, delayed salaries. Of course, on the paper beneath that leading story, we have a picture story of accident scene on Otedola Bridge in Lagos yesterday, which is very quite unfortunate. Beside that, we have UNNEDC to resettle 2.2 million IDPs. 5,000 fee dead after Libya floods. Wike probes $600 million garnishee order against FCTA. And above that, we have Tinubu orders probe of both mishaps in Niger Adamawa. UBA grows pre-tax profit by 371% to 404 billion naira in first half. Above the masthead of leadership, we have U.S. Congress begins impeachment inquiry against Biden. Port ceding of Adamawa land to Cameroon now, reps third federal government. With that, we move over to the page 3 of leadership, where we have our stand. Our stand today is on mismanaging national monuments. Mismanaging national monuments. That is our stand today on leadership. Today, September 13, 2023. And with that, we move over to the back page of the paper, where we have Wednesday column with Aisha Osori, and she says fighting corruption games. Just before we leave it, we have to go to Ghana Must Go. Ghana Must Go says Edo deputy governor moves out of government house to new office. That's the news, trending news yesterday. And of course, the Ghana Must Go answered the isolation center. You have to find out more on this. Continuation of headline stories, inside pages. Log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, the next paper on our menu is Vanguard. Let's have Vanguard on our screen. Vanguard says 2023 budget in danger as crude output crashes by 470,000 barrels per day. 2023 budget in danger as crude output crashes by 470,000 barrels per day. Produces 1.2 million barrels per day in August against budget benchmark of 1.69 million barrels per day. OPEC. Federal government should tackle oil theft, diversify economy, experts say. IOC's orders face sabotage, theft, shell. Short 4, very worrisome, Professor Uwaleke. Short 4 will put pressure on government to borrow and do it worsen liquidity challenge in foreign exchange market. Olainka. OPS is concerned, NECA. Government must tackle oil theft, Pengasan. That is the leading story on Vanguard. 2023 budget in danger as crude output crashes by 470,000 barrels per day. And move on to other stories on that cover. Tinubu orders immediate payment of deceased soldiers' life insurance. Tinubu orders immediate payment of deceased soldiers' life insurance. World Bank raises concerns over Nigeria's macroeconomic management. Federal government to governors focus on agriculture value chain to tackle poverty. And we have Pesero saying, why I accepted short-term contract with NFF. That's the story on sports. UN partners Bono NEDC, Northeast Development Commission, to resettle 2.2 million IDPs in Northeast. Boundary disputes, reps to cede Adamawa territory to Cameroon. Stories on page 27. However, leadership has it the other way round. Hot ceding of Adamawa land to Cameroon, reps tell federal government. Vanguard says reps to cede Adamawa territory to Cameroon. From that, we move above the masthead of Vanguard. CBN orders banks to save gains from foreign exchange re-evaluation. UBA records 371% increase in profitability to 404 billion naira in first half of 2023. Nigeria banned booths can now be cleared in Cotonou, federal government, Benin Republic. Nigeria banned booths can now be cleared in Cotonou, federal government, and Benin Republic say. United Arab Emirates visa ban lifting will transform stock exchange, $10. United Arab Emirates visa ban lifting will transform stock exchange, $10. Adopters of Akwa Ibom NYSC members demand fresh 200 million naira after receipt of 13 million naira. For more on these headline stories, inside pages, and of course the editorial and back page, log on to the website of Vanguard newspaper, www.vanguardngro.com. From Vanguard, the Nation, this day is next on our lineup. This day says stock market suffers 757 billion naira loss over FTSE downgrade. Stock market suffers 757 billion naira loss over FTSE downgrade. Above that, we have first half 2023, Afrexim Bank's total assets grows to $30 billion. UBA roars back with 404 billion naira profits before tax. First half 2023, Afrexim Bank's total asset grows to $30 billion. UBA roars back with 404 billion naira profits before tax. And above that, we have Labour Party tribunal rulings against our lawmakers unjust. The story is on page 35 of this day. Tribunal rulings against our lawmakers unjust. Above the masthead of this day, we have Tinubu, Akpabio, Deloitte, Mondoyin of Accounting, Akintola Williams. $10 hates Tinubu for successfully resolving UAE visa ban on Nigerians. Flight resumption. Says Asiwaju is working, Nigeria will work. Advises Nigerians to be patient with president. For more on these headline stories, inside pages, log on to the website of This Day, www.thisdaylive.com. This day newspaper. From that, we move over to The Punch. The Punch says post-subsidy talks, Labour threatens indefinite strike, gives 1 week ultimatum. Post-subsidy talks, Labour threatens indefinite strike, gives 1 week ultimatum. Giving a bag of rice to 12 people, 100 million naira each to each lawmaker, insulting Labour. Giving a bag of rice to 12 people, 100 million naira to each lawmaker, insulting, according to Labour. Government has absconded from negotiation table, fails to meet workers' demands, says NLC. And just like leadership, the Punch also has picture of the accident that took place yesterday in Lagos on $10 bridge. One dies as truck crashes on Lagos bridge. That's the story for the leading pictorials. Horses in shallow grave. Libya flood, Morocco earthquake death hits toll hits 6,000. Libya flood, Morocco earthquake death toll hits 6,000. With this, we move over to the stories above the masthead of the Punch. Nigerians to clear goods from Cotonou ports, customs. Nigerians to clear goods from Cotonou ports. Despite Syria challenges, Nigerians believe in democracy, oppose authoritarianism. Tinubu orders probe as 901 die in 61 boat accidents. For more on these headline stories, inside pages, and editorial, log on to the website of The Punch for more. www.punchng.com. On the Punch takes us to Daily Sun. Next on our menu, Daily Sun says fear grips governors as tribunals shake lawmakers. Fear grips governors as tribunals shake lawmakers. Labour Party reps sacked in Lagos, Enugu. Kalu Ofionu abanks APC win as party loses seat in Delta. PDP's Ugu wins in Enugu. Judgments against our lawmakers unjust. Mockery of judiciary. Labour Party. Bill Gates Foundation, a report says new innovations to save 2 million mothers' babies by 2030. PDP commits to deepening democracy. Decries leaders' low capacity. UBA record naira profit before tax in first half of 2023. Significant growth in revenue, profit, key metrics. Like Obaseki, Akeredolu sacks deputy governors, media aides. Transporters seek removal of 7.5% VAT on diesel over operation cost. Nigeria needs 159 additional aircraft by 2042. Airbus. U.S. House moves to impeach President Biden. Stories on page 7 of Daily Sun. From that, we move over to this one beside the masthead, where we have Benue government confirms abduction of 10 passengers in bus hijack. These are the leading stories on the cover of Daily Sun today, Wednesday, September 13, 2023. For more on these inside stories, log on to the website of Daily Sun, www.sunnynewsonline.com. From Daily Sun, we move over to the last paper on our menu, and that is The Guardian. The Guardian says Obaze panel hunts conspirators, in quotes, in alleged 7 trillion naira frauds linked to Emefiele. Obaze panel hunts conspirators in alleged 7 trillion naira frauds linked to Emefiele. The story is on page 6 of The Guardian. Bandits sack 15 communities in Taraba. Monarch laments. UBA records 37% growth. Post 404 billion naira profit before tax in first half. MTN laments vandalization of sites, infrastructure, orders in Southeast. 2 years after, cargo movement begins on Apapa Ibadan, $1.5 billion rail line. Petrol diesel costs may soar as oil prices rise amid tighter supply. Petrol diesel costs may soar as oil prices rise amid tighter supply. From Malami to Fagbemi in search of holistic reform for judiciary. That is news analysis on page 4 of The Guardian. Multi-dimensional approach necessary to curb unemployment. Editorial page 14 is where you have this editorial. Multi-dimensional approach necessary to curb unemployment. This is where we are ending our review of The Guardian today. For more on these inside stories, log on to the website of The Guardian, www.guardian.ng. Obviously, we've come to the end of the first segment of the program, Newspaper Review. The second segment, I'll be having a virtual guest, and of course, it's actually my midweek guest, Jide Ojo. Don't go away. My name is Winifred Odobo. Stay tuned. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, the program is Inside Nigeria, is reaching your leadership television. My name is Winifred Bebo, and because this is the second half of the program, we'll be having discussions on some headline stories. And with me, virtual though, is my midweek guest, is a public affairs analyst, a TV host, and of course, a public affairs analyst. He's a syndicated columnist. Let me mention that. Of course, Jide Ojo. Jide Ojo, it's a pleasure to always have you on the program, although it's been a long while. We are on the other. Good morning. Yes, welcome to the program. It's a pleasure to host you today on the program. It's been a while. We've not been having you virtual because of some network hitches here and there. How are you doing? I'm good. I'm good. Now we have your paper, The Punch, where you actually write your column today, and the headline story is on post-subsidy talks. Labour threatens indefinite strike, gives 1 week ultimatum, and of course, Labour's grouse is that why they are giving a bag of rice to 12 people to share, and in the name of palliative, 100 million naira is being given to lawmakers, and that is insulting. So what do you have to say? And Labour also accused the federal government from absconding from a negotiation table and that it failed to meet workers' demands. What do we have here on our hands today? Given the fact that the strike that they called, the warning strike they called last week, was not so effective. Why it was effective in some states, it wasn't so effective in many others. Can Labour be able to walk this talk?
Talk, but what impact it will make on generality of Nigeria is of importance to me, because last past. And unfortunately, successive government always have to play catch up. They never built appropriate scenarios and look at what uh, will be the economic relief packages to cushion the shock. And they always jump into the sea and start learning how to swim. That's not how serious government elsewhere works. I think Ashwaju and Bola Ahmed Tinubu ought to have taken at least fortunately, he just
went viral, and we saw people scrambling for some of these palliatives for some rights, and it's not making sense. And this is despite the fact that some governors, the fact we are giving 2 billion naira for this palliative, are they actually doing enough to cushion the effects of this fuel subsidy removal? Did you hear me?
I heard you.
You saw the
Even
videos, that
if
some of the
5
videos that
billion,
went viral of
yeah,
people scrabbling for palliatives.
I didn't I didn't see, but even I've said
In some
at
of these
other
states,
fora that even if uh, the 5 billion naira that government pledged through the National Economic Council that they were going to give state government uh, 48% loan and 52% grant of that 5 billion. Even if the entire 5 billion have been used to procure palliatives, it can't go around. And unfortunately, we do not have a credible social register because even people who have houses, who have cars, who have who are well to do, if they are the one in charge of the distribution, many of them will still take some of these things to their homes. After all, they are also citizens of this country. Meanwhile, the primary target should have been one of those among the 133 million people that the National Bureau of Statistics said are suffering from multidimensional poverty. However, it's just like scholarship. If you are in charge, you put your siblings, you put your children, you put your wards, you put your guardian, you put your church members, even if they can afford to pay for their education. That is the gross abuse that usually happens. Situations where things are being given out free. And then there should have been a committee of credible people that will have been put in charge of the distribution of this palliative. Nasarawa State is just distributing its own yesterday. Only Adamawa distributed about 2 weeks ago. So it's been like, and then you ask yourself, even to procure uh, rice, 2 billion naira rice, um, given the insufficiency of this product or of this grain in our local market, some of them may have to have been imported from outside of the country. Or maybe they gave the contract to some contractors to supply rice worth 2 billion. And it might take some time for that
yes. So what is now the way forward? Because there's been so much talk on what can be done to cushion the effects of this fuel subsidy removal, and what can be done to actually alleviate NLCs and bring maybe the threatened strike. Because at the end of the day, Nigeria is not moving forward, it's not moving backward, especially on this palliative issue. Exactly.
And that one will take as long as 1 year because now it's going to be started.
Exactly.
Organized credit. You want to grab one and eventually to grab 55,000.
Which?
But what the labor union is asking for is a great award. So make a pronouncement and tell us when we will start to pay.
To take the amount.
And that the issue of CMD office, they said, to report these losses, these are part of things that should have been touched to.
Touch you, yes. Exactly.
Unfortunately, now we know what to expect is not enough. These CMD losses are not of local, are not of Nigerian shelves. There is no another country that has that program. They only want to buy 3,000 euros.
Yes.
And that's what to be imported from Europe. And you know the processes are procedures involved.
Yes,
And
it is.
the manufacturer will take a big start. And then, of course, you will start making it in margin. But that will take so long that 3 to 6 months.
Yes. If not even up to a year. If not even up to a year.
What it is, if you want to pay, if we are public enterprise wants to wait, we are public procurement rather, if they want to wait the certification, that's the actually go for corruption. Because then you hear that one say they will look for maybe 18 people or 50 people. When the market price the actual one of that. So we have to keep with this. But what the government can do to advance further arrest is for the president, not the minister. The president to hide the labor leaders and update them on what government is doing.
Okay.
Think for more time and show commitment in terms of duties and timelines that he intends to deliver. These paper leaders are also part of the imperial cost. And they show sympathy, they feel that government is very committed. And it was a share staff of state market that the president met with the local leader on education. First, by itself, if you guide them, remember that with the national security. The president decided to 2 hours and to do TLC festival and the president
Oh, yeah.
was very reassured. So it is for the president to also take time now and not do things, not make matters to the Minister of Labor, who will still be able to the president to keep the
Exactly, the people. Yes.
The president
Yes, and just have yes. It's true. Instead of yes. And the Minister of Labor will be giving the president feedback, coming back again to field labor. That there will be bureaucracy is taken care of. Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you so. Now, another story that is making the headlines is that of Vanguard. 2023 budget in danger as crude output crashes by 470,000 barrels per day. It still boils down to oil theft. What can be done? Of course, we have this Tantiana company that was handling surveillance pipe that is spearheaded by government Ekperimundo. something like that. And of course, Navy came out to say that they are now the one that they caught it. I think many Nigerians are suspecting foul play. What is actually happening? What can be done to actually turn these tides in terms of oil thefts, turn it around? Because enough has been done, so much money budgeted for it, that at the end of the day, Nigeria is still not able to, federal government is not be able to realize his budget benchmark of of oil output at the end of the day because of due to sabotage. What can be actually be done?
Pass through. You need the Navy, you need the NSCDC, the Air Force, and even the Tatiana whatever. You know the problem with the Tatiana contract? It's given to just one person.
Which has been generating so much ruckus. Exactly. Other want also share of the cake. Fubara said, yes. One person. Yes. We have seen so many, yes. Yes.
Exercise. They are not in substantial exercise. So the prototypes of people to be vandalized. And let me shock you with the food. I said about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Totally former Minister of Information and Culture that the Nigerian government, is very specific every year.
Yes.
To repair vandalized items.
Yes.
How do you just tell that?
Exactly.
For those people in NNPC, if you can spend 60 billion if you can spend that kind of money, and who wants to back the plan? Because it has made many people to become billionaires. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that has to be investigated. That our pipeline contract surveillance, our pipeline repair contract has to be rooted protect to show that there is no sabotage. And of course, these people are involved as not just by irregular. The government needs to also dialogue with those who are good and to be taught. After all, government always said the yes things from people who are involved in this.
But we expected, when he made that disclosure, No, Judah, I expected the National Assembly to call him to come and, at least reveal to them the names are involved, but nothing was said about it. There's so much secrecy. The oil theft, this oil theft issue in Nigeria is so much shrouded in secrecy that nobody knows the real truth again. Because recently, many Nigerians see it as corruption fighting back when the Navy also tried to indict this Titanium company that they were the one that was actually caught. So nobody knows what is the real issue, the real fact as at now. Because Tompolo was ready to give names, but the National Assembly was not ready, was not interested in hearing the names or listening to the names. Hello. Yes. It is. Oh, thank you so much. Now that brings us to the leading story too on leadership, Nigeria's most influential newspaper. Leadership says as schools resume, parents, guardians groan over fee increase amid rising inflation. So parents, what's actually your advice? Because there's a saying that sew your clothes according to the size, according to your material. So what is actually happening here?
But what makes this year's particularly more challenging is that there are more exponentially in school fees. And the other day, one of the students were sharing that when they were protesting the school fees from 19,000 to 190,000. Of course, the school government council said it's a really institution. But what they have increased is money for best stage and other ancillary work. So we think it's an indirect way of bringing revenue. So I last only just members who protested on THISDAY. But the truth is that we're not including people to send children to school. And it is worth it by everybody wants it by their monthly care by finding universities, secondary and primary schools. Because higher education is heavily subsidized in the public sector.
Yes.
Private sector,
it's not.
they have to operate according to.
And of course, it's expected that somebody that can take his or her word to private school can afford it. Can afford to pay the fees. Don't you think so?
No, doesn't mean parents are affording. It's just that the state of public educational institutions have become very deplorable. So, if we really want your child to have quality education, we may have to look in the direction of private schools. The thing is, go around public schools in FCT. And on top of that is the regular talent of strike and industrial action. In 2020, lecturers went on a 10-month strike from February 14 to December 23. We thought we have seen the work. Last year, they went for 8 months strike. And now they have still another a lot to collect money from work members. So, but those who have their children in private institutions, they make their day in regular time. And, you know, we have because them analysis, it's giving them a look to speak yourself, provide your children to practice, and let them be able to finish their education in a timely manner. Because if you want to be very wise, pass through it. And you have to go and put your time in the school.
The outcome.
They don't know how to use internet, except the one on their phone. There are so many things that people who go to private school they are talking to them about the and of course, unless even many parents who put their children in public in school because they cannot afford private, not because they prefer public to private. Because over the years, the investment that we have done into educational content, despite step on, these are expanding to now.
Hello, Jide? Okay, you're back. I was not hearing you. All right, thank you so much. Okay, please finish your thoughts so that we can move on because there's a story. All right. Now, just before we go, there's something I'm not so clear with because amidst this rising inflation, amidst the hardship in the country, banks are posting profits. This is strange. Like starting from August, we've been seeing banks on the pages of paper posting their their profits. Like for instance, today, leadership is also leading with the story. UBA rose pre-tax profits by 371% to 404 billion naira in first half. Same with other banks like Zenith, GTB since August started actually. What is happening? And yet Nigeria is having inflation. How are they able to make profits? It's something that is strange to Nigerians and to me too.
All this stuff of the thing of course, the name of maintenance, of course, how they able to carry to put the loans to people. And they have sometimes they do their operation cost. Many of the bank workers are not casual. They are not casual workers. So we must get the good security to give them extra of stuff. And the don't pay them housing allowance, no health benefits, no pension. So it has reduced their operational cost.
Okay.
And some of them also reduce their hours of operation. So invariably, of course, some of them may get the round treatment. Before the public dollar,
Yes.
the $5 from
Rates.
market and central bank. And you have to put something to go down and say you want to prepare. Although I'm going to say it's hard to wait for what they are seeing is that once you get this thing, they put it in the group change or the parallel market to change. And thereby making everybody where those who want to get money out of this process, they don't have enough, but they have any.
Okay.
So there are a lot of subpractices that are going here, which are enabling many of the banks to also
To be posting profits.
there are also a lot of innovation that are also come into the banking financial institutions. So they are operating all branches with less resources. Of course, don't also forget that many of them move government funds. So they are
Okay.
which they also
Okay. Make money from.
will get the CPF program that will do the right.
Yes.
Make customers to account for their.
Yes, thank you so much. Is that our time does not permit us? Anyway, hopefully next week, because we'll be looking at this Obase planning. He wants to spirit us in alleged 7 trillion naira fraud, linked to Emefiele. And you just mentioned the hope we'll get a CBN governor that will be able to do the right thing. Then next week, actually, we'll be able to discuss more on that. It's been a pleasure having you on the program, THISDAY Joe. The absence has been felt on this program. Thank you so much for your time. Okay. All right, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. I look forward to having you same time next week too. So viewers, this is where we'll come to the end of today's midweek show inside Nigeria on this Leadership Television. I'll be talking with our midweek guest. He's a syndicated columnist, a TV host, and a public affairs analyst, THISDAY Joe. And my name is Winifred Ugbebo. Until I come your way again, same time, same station. Just remain blessed. See you then. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placement, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.